It's okay. I'm not mad.
Really?
Nope. I'm serious!
Alright everybody, we are back, and today we're going to be talking about a little something that happened on the timeline. So, you guys may be familiar with the company known as Gamefreak. They recently are making a new game that is just like had a little bit of a trailer called Beast of Reincarnation. Now, here's a quick description of it. In a post-apocalyptic Japan, humanity's last hope rests with Emma and her loyal canine companion Ku. Explore what it means to be a human in the Beast of Reincarnation, an expansive one-person, one-dog action RPG around demanding technical combat. What awaits at the journey's end? Now, you might be thinking, hey, this is pretty awesome. You probably might be looking forward to this game. I personally hope that it's going to be successful. And you might be asking me, well, what's the issue? Why did this game cause problems? Well, as you guys, like I said, this game was made by Gamefreak. A certain fan base of Game Freaks wasn't too happy when they saw this game. That being the Pokemon fan base. Now the Pokemon fan base had some very positive and kind words to say to Game Freak, seeing that this game was being created. Now we're basically going to go over some of those words that they've had to say. Alright, roll them for me, Emmy. A Super Naruto replies with, is it true that Game Freak is making this? Mashi81 says, Game Freak can make good games when not for Nintendo. Aziel replies with, Game Freak, Pokemon? Alu Gaming, bro, if they can cook with this, let them off the shackles of Pokemon. Nelson replies with, Game Freak? Yosei David, imagine a Pokemon game with these graphics. Trust in the polls, why can't Pokemon be like this? Fayaz says, Game Freak developed this? I feel robbed. SNES Mouse, I'm sorry, fucking Game Freak? They've been cooking this while neglecting Pokemon. Gawa replies with, Nintendo Live Reaction. BJ replies with, Game Freak when they have more than 3 years to develop a game. Fearin replies with, what do you mean Xbox poach Game Freak? Ahmed Mosley, I have many questions about this game's inception. I'm wowed that this can come out of Game Freak, such a beautiful and risky title. Something is wrong with the current relationship in the Pokemon company because their game should look as good as this. Happy that it exists. Tuesday replies with, see, this is what happens when you actually let Game Freak cook. 70 Sad replies with, but they can't make a decent looking Pokemon game. Shade Ghost says, why does Pokemon not look like that? Dog Bolt Out, so Game Freak do know what quality looks like. How come they can do this, but why can't they do the same but cartoony? We get Pokemon AZ with flat buildings, low res textures, and loads of pop-in. Victory Reviews replies with, did they money launder Pokemon Scarlet money to make a AAA game? Waifu Simp says, Game Freak and Pokemon have no excuse for now for Gen 10. Stella replies with, Game Freak? Pika Yuri replies with, everyone's mad at Game Freak, but tell me what Nintendo hardware could run this well. Lanier replies with, I didn't know that they were allowed to make other games lol, let alone ones not Nintendo. Jay replies with, wait, Game Freak? Pokemillion says, Pokemon realizing that rushing and pressuring Game Freak was precisely the reason they were getting half-baked games. Detroit Villain says, but Game Freak is lazy. Xenoblade looks so good. Like I said, they are not lazy. Nintendo just greedy, and they didn't give them the equipment Pokemon needed. Mijara's ass replies with, fuck off Game Freak, put this energy into making Pokemon. Martha replies with, same developers, Game Freak cannot be serious. Leylin replies with, Game Freak, same developers, vastly different games? If only they put a fraction of this development in Pokemon, even just 1%, WTF. This is why I am not a fan of the current games in the franchise with stuff like this. Bracell replies with, Game Freak so bad at optimizing the frame rates are shitty in their own trailer. Mr. Daki, hey, what the hell is this beauty? They are the same developers who made this bullshit. Brew replies with, this is what reasonable development times and creative freedom will get you. Stop blaming Game Freak's developers for low quality Pokemon games and start blaming ones who give them insane deadlines. Jay replies with, same developer. Smaffle replies with, Game Freak is lazy my ass. The problem was never them specifically, they just weren't given enough time and resources to work at their full potential. Jay replies with, hey so why does Pokemon look like that? Burp replies with, man, get them the fuck off Pokemon, we can see they don't give a fuck. Key replies with, so Game Freak cut this entire time. MR13, Game Freak? Man, put this energy into Pokemon, like what the fuck? Pokemon fans have been absolutely robbed right now. They better cook hard with Gen 10. Soon Falad, so we can all finally agree the reason new Pokemon games look like dog ass is because Nintendo, TPC don't give Game Freak the time or proper budget, right? We're gonna start calling out publishers instead of pinning all the industry problem on devs, right? Donkey Kong enthusiasts? Put this energy into Pokemon, please. Zova Fire, we gotta kill Pokemon fans. Holy fuck, they are horrendously stupid. Baku Bomber, it is amazing what Game Freak can make when they aren't being rushed to meet a schedule. Gecko B replies with, Game Freak is doing their best, they don't have many devs working. Y'all are smoking crack like crazy. Y'all almost got played thinking Nintendo ain't the issue. Ella replies with, oh, Game Freak like hate the Pokemon franchise, huh? This person replies with, wait, Game Freak? Xbox? What deal with Nintendo did you do? Blind nostalgia. How in the world is this made by the same devs that can't get Pokemon to run viably? Gotta be frank. People keep forgetting Game Freak is not a Nintendo-only game developer. It's just rare when they develop for a different platform. Clover-chan, oh, the higher-ups at Game Freak just absolutely hate Pokemon. Got it. Ghost of Mufasa, the Pokemon niggas did this? JD, they have a more iconic pairing than Game Freak and shitty frame rates. Mocha replies with, oh, so Game Freak just didn't care. Oh, okay. Saint Joy, I can't believe this game was created by a company behind Pokemon. I mean, they were that good after all. V, so why don't we get this level of quality in the art direction for Pokemon? Gator X, Game Freak? And the last one we have here is from Wild Beach. So they can develop that kind of games, but not for Pokemon? Never defending them again. And that's basically all the tweets we have here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we'll be looking into for today. Now, you can tell me and share with me your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. But other than that, I will see you with whatever I decide to make next. Peace.